as you were talking, I'm thinking to myself, all right, let's assume, you don't necessarily include this in your work, right? This sort of phenomena. But let's say it reaches a point scientifically where it's kind of accepted, hey, humans can have this sort of psionic ability, right? Telepathic or this or that. Would you then use it to potentially, like, how would that help you as a therapist to be able to read the mind of your patient and vice versa? They can read
Mhm.
your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to go to that global scale. I mean, it's possible, but what I am focused on is developing the ability to read through, understand communication, verbal communication, nonverbal communication, how to identify defense mechanisms, which is, sort of, there's many very cool defense mechanisms that are so accurate to the human experience, but ways we portray ourselves that isn't
Yeah.
the reality. We're reflecting, we're defending, and we're just reacting to protect ourselves, right? And so knowing when someone's doing that and then coaching them how to work through those defense mechanisms can just improve self-esteem, improve interpersonal relationships. It's great for couples work. So that's the extent. So developing, I would say, intention, attention, attunement, and really emotional awareness of the self and the other is really what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. Yeah, I just think like, okay, if some of these, you know, what used to be considered parlor tricks become reality, right? Where it turns out, oh, there's something to this, right? This
Mhm.
telepathy or telekinesis or right, all these different functions, the power of the mind. How can that then be implemented into treatments for people or vice versa? Kind of like what they've done with, you know, what is it, like LSD and mushrooms and stuff, psilocybin. They've taken micro dose and used it to help treat people for depression or maybe even anxiety. I can't remember exactly what that kind of stuff is used for, right? In small amounts in a controlled setting. It makes me wonder if this kind of thing turns out to be true. Could it then be used to help people?
Yeah.
Some of these abilities.
I mean, any good provider is going to be always open to new methods, but it's got to be supported by evidence
Sure.
and
Yeah.
quantitative research, peer-reviewed journals.
Yeah.
We are scholar practitioners, and we base our interventions what's based on what's proven and demonstrated. That being said, one can still be creative, and if someone comes to me and they found a strategy that works for them, I'm going to absolutely endorse that, assuming it's healthy
Sure.
and but yeah, I think it's important to be open-minded, but also stay grounded in using what's proven to work, um, because they're paying you to help them and reduce their symptoms. So you don't want to just be sitting there and using strategies that aren't proven to be effective.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, 100%. It's a journey to have it implemented, right? For it to really come together, it will be slow, kinda coming in, and there'll be some therapist in, Germany somewhere who tries it first and then, "Oh, that
Sure.
may work," and it kinda moves along.
And
Um,
there
you
are
know
more holistic healers and other
Sure.
practitioners that I will refer to, whether it's more meditation focused or Reiki or yoga, and I mean there's the more traditional ones, and there might be even more sort of out there esoteric kind of new methods. And I'm always open to working with a number of different providers and searching for some ways to complement the work that I'm doing or the work they're doing. The key is not working in isolation. The key is not being, closed to other ideas,
Yeah.
and but really using what's proven to work and or what works for your client.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, to some extent, you know, I don't know if this is the right term to use, but the placebo effect, like if someone thinks something's work and it works on them, what does it matter if at the end of the day it worked? I mean, isn't the solution or isn't the result the most important thing? I mean, definitely how you get there to some extent, for sure. I don't mean violating certain, human ethics. But I don't know, there's particular system or whatever, like you said,
Yeah.
that's maybe a little whatever, but that person just feels it's working on that, and it centers them and it clears them and it
Mhm.
works for them. At the end of the day, doesn't matter. Does
And
that?
that's a great point. There's some limits to that, but I'm not going to recommend someone take Vicodin once a day for depression,
Sure.
despite the amazing outcome it might have.
Yeah.
Um, but certainly, like every
Yeah.
medication has a placebo effect. I mean, when I tell someone that, hey, this medication's going to have between a 30 and 70% impact, and you're probably going to start experiencing this in 7 to 12 days. If it happens sooner, don't be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the research, it's not lying. There's research to support those timelines, but it's how you communicate it. It's the intention, the emotional presence that you bring in that moment. It's going to have I would say, at least a 20% effect on actual reduction of symptoms.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. See, that's interesting.